day 4 of the Deep Learning Indaba, iAfrikan.com, giving you rolling coverage. And we're outside once again in this beautiful oasis at the heart of the Amadou Martau Mbao University. I said that correct. You know, a lot of people can't even say that correct. I keep saying it because I'm so proud of myself that I'm saying it correct.
Amazing. I still can't pronounce it correctly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're outside. So, we're just cooling off. It's day 4. It was all about the person sessions today. And I'm sitting with one of the organizers. She's an organizer, but she also wears a different hat. She does a lot of work in terms of climate AI. But let's pick a brain. Amal, what's the say them again?
Amal Nammouchi.
Nammouchi. I want to
Yes.
get Nammouchi right.
Amazing.
Amal Nammouchi.
Perfect.
What does Nammouchi mean?
Oh, that's a good one. It's actually Namash means freckles in Arabic.
In Arabic.
Yeah.
So Nammouchi is an Arabic name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, kinda,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So what part do you find the Amushi people? What part of Tunisia do you find the
I
Amushi
come from the northest part of Africa,
Okay.
Bizerte.
Oh, Bizerte. Is that a province or a state?
It's a city, it's province.
It's a city.
Yeah,
Okay.
province, yeah.
So it's in the northern part of the Tunisia.
So we actually, in my city, we have the northest, like the north utmost point in Africa. Like in South Africa, you have it like the southest point.
Yes.
And the northmost is in my city.
Beautiful. Now, your relationship with the Indaba, did it start with the Indaba, Tunisia?
Yes.
Okay, walk me through that. How was that?
So I'm actually like one of the main organizers of the very first Indaba X Tunisia.
Okay.
That was Indaba X Tunisia 2019.
Okay.
And that was a roller coaster. So I was at that time still like studying engineering. I was the president of IEEE Subcom student branch. And then we co-organized with InstaDeep the Indaba X, and it was an amazing event. People still talk about it.
I'm so jealous I didn't go to the Tunisian one because, as iAfrikan, we started going to the Ghana one last year.
Yeah.
And I keep watching the videos and the documentaries on the Tunisia one. It looks like it's such a lovely time.
We need to bring it back to
We need
Tunisia
to bring
again.
it back to Tunisia again, please.
Yes, again.
Amal, welcome to iAfrikan.
Thank you.
You're part of the organizing committee. What do you do in the organizing committee?
So this year, I'm the chair of Applications and Selection Committee.
Okay.
So for the Application and Selection Committee, we actually start the work straight after the Indaba. So we started the Accra or Ghana Indaba, finished like in September. We started working in November.
Okay, so what does work mean? Like starting to put together applications?
Yeah.
Walk me through the journey.
Yeah, so in the application and selection team, we create the different processes: application process, review process, and selection process.
Okay.
That reflects the vision of the Indaba.
Okay.
Like, who do we want to bring to the Indaba?
Yes.
What kind of impact do we want to have? And based on those different criteria, then we tailor like the application form, to reflect that vision.
Yes.
And it starts with that. And then, of course, like we try to do the outreach, get the applications.
Yes.
Once we have them, we have the review process, which is another roller coaster, especially that we've been getting an exponential number of applications.
Yes.
And then after it comes the very difficult part
Of selections. My goodness. So is there a selection committee? How do you go about selecting?
Yeah, it's based on the review.
Okay.
So each application get reviewed by 2 reviewers. Thank you to all our reviewers. This year we had almost or over 5,000 reviews.
Wow.
Over 200 reviewers.
Wow.
And that's all from the community.
My goodness.
And we had about we had 100% completion rate within 4 weeks.
Okay.
And that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so based on those reviews, then we base the selection, of course. Now, it's a blind review. Your application is reviewed by 2 people. And based on that, basically, you get selected.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't make it to Senegal, blame it on her. She's the one in charge. Amal Nammouchi. Hit her up on LinkedIn. Ask her why weren't you selected?
Oh no, don't
I'm playing, guys. I'm playing.
But I mean, I think the most difficult part was to send the rejections.
Okay,
I couldn't sleep that night. I could
right.
not sleep that night. And the thing is, if you were not accepted to the Indaba, it's not because, everyone is great. Everyone's application is great.
Yes.
Everyone deserves to be here
Yes.
today. But we've been grown exponentially as a community.
community.
This year we received almost 3,000 applications.
Yes.
And we had few hundreds spots here today. So obviously we cannot accept everyone.
Yes.
And that's like, that brings me nightmares, you know, those
Yes.
rejections.
Come
So,
on, that is
yeah.
so. That is
I
that
wish
is not
that
nice.
everyone just, you know, we could bring everyone, those thousands of people
Yes,
here.
Yes. Amal, in your other hat, you do a lot of work in terms of climate AI.
Yes.
Your organization is called Climate AI.
Right.
What is climate AI and why should we care?
Yeah. Is it too hot for you today? Do you care?
You know, because there's people that will watch this gonna be like, and you would know this in the space. There's people that don't believe in climate change.
Yeah, I know.
There's people like, no,
It's
no.
ridiculous.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's like Area 51. It's like, you know, NASA went to the moon. Like, it's all a conspiracy. You know, for those people, how do you bring them to the understanding or the perspective, at least, on like, this is the empirical evidence to show you that climate change is a thing and, you know, AI can combat this?
Yeah, I mean, climate change is more than just a discomfort, you know, than like it's a hot weather, then I'll just go inside and put on the conditioner and that's it. It's something that's vital and it impacts lives of people. And actually, like, people dies because of this hot temperature. Actually, someone from my town last year, he's a farmer, and we had the hottest day in forever. And it was 50 degrees one day.
My
And he's a
goodness.
farmer. And of
This is
course,
in Tunisia?
it was in Tunisia.
My goodness.
And of course, like, you just go to work, you need to feed your kids and so on. And then, like, yeah, he got like a sunstroke and so
Okay.
on. So it actually touches the lives. And for us, for example, in Africa, we have our economy, or lots of African countries' economy is based on agriculture.
100%.
Of course, and if some countries are like impacted by the floods, some other it's the opposite, the droughts, and either like will cause a very big problem in our agriculture and eventually like the economy and your livelihood. And we have like numbers, and that's like the simple proof for that.
Now, how does AI come into the mix? How do you use AI to combat climate change?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So AI can help decision makers or policy makers, whether that's community or governments, make helpful or like informed decisions for the both adaptation and the mitigation of these impacts of climate change, right? So sometimes if you know beforehand that some catastrophes that are caused by climate change will happen, we can combat it. You just need to know beforehand, right? And that's one of the examples. So it helps you make informed decisions. I'll give you one example. There's this insect, like I always forget the name of it in English. I think it's locust.
Okay, locusts.
Yeah, it's locust.
The ones that eat crops.
Yes, exactly. So it started actually in 2018. It was somewhere in the Middle East, Arabian Sahara. And there was like a cyclone. And of course, this cyclone, they happen because of the climate change. And those caused these insects to grow in a big number, exponentially.
And they can chow crops like crazy.
And it happened again in 2019, and they actually like grew to billions of numbers. And they actually can grow like 600 million, I think, times, like reproduce. And these like insects, like they flew from that region to a region in Africa, all the way to Africa, so Asia to Africa. And I have the graph in my head. Actually, it's like just 2019 December to 2020 February, like within almost 2 months, like a big region of crops were eaten. Now, the thing is, we have a way to combat these. So we have the ways to just kill them. We just didn't know beforehand. So if you could predict that, this is just one tiny example, right? So AI can help you sort of, know that beforehand and make informed decision to stop it from happening.
But now, Amal, make me understand this practically so.
Yeah.
You, as the AI data scientists and all those professionals, you've got the data and you're able to draw the insights.
Yeah.
All right. Now, once you've got this data, who do you give it to in order to warn farmers, in order to warn the government? Who do you actually hand over this data to?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And that's why, like, actually we have Climate AI, and it's not only research-based. We need for this, it's a whole ecosystem, right? You need researchers, you need professionals, you need policy makers, and depending on the problem, then like you need all of these sort of members like, yeah, combating together. So, I mean, as a researcher, you can create the best model or like, get the data set. But if that's not used by the governments or the policymakers, then it's sort of not really impactful.
Yeah.
So that's why now, like as African AI, we also are trying to acquire partnerships with certain organizations who are like who have a big impact on the policy making. We represented the global south, for example, in the UNICEF AI and climate.
Okay.
So there was this meeting, and it was in Germany, and there were lots of discussions about climate change and AI. And that's where, for example, you can find these governments and policymakers, and you can bring the voice of the global south and these problems. So, yeah.
What parts of the continent do you find Afri climate change? What parts of the continent are you doing this beautiful work?
Yeah. So we are focusing on Africa in general, but at the same time, we are aware even in Africa, we have different regions. They are
Very big.
exactly,
Very
and they're
big.
exactly, and they're
From South Africa just to Senegal, it took like 15 hours
oh my
flight time.
gosh,
Like, it was crazy.
it's so huge. It's not what the map says. So yeah, it may. But I mean, also we're impacted differently, right? As I said, like in certain regions, you have more precipitations than others.
Yes.
And that's why, like as a community, we want even sub-communities like from around Africa to focus on a contextual problem,
The localized problem.
localized problem. And that's what we, as African AI, are trying to do. This capacity building and knowledge building within Africa, but also folks like on certain or different regions.
Now we're gonna have a lot of our viewers watching this episode. How do they get in contact with you? How do they become a part of this?
Yeah. So African AI is an open community. We have our website set, and simply if you go there, we have our community. You can join the community right away there, like online. We have our Slack channel and so on. And we are actually taking like the opportunity during the deep learning Indaba, which is our comeback. Actually, we started in the last deep learning Indaba, so this is sort of our anniversary, and we have our workshop on Friday, and that's when we are going to announce certain projects that we are starting, and yeah, we have an open call for the community members to be part of these projects.
Now, lastly, are you only looking or do you only work with practitioners and scholars in AI? What about the normal man in the street?
Yeah.
Do you only work with AI people, or is there space for people like myself that are not in AI, but I want to be involved?
Yeah, of course. I mean, for us, we focus a lot on the intersection of AI and climate. So how can we harness or use the potential of AI to make a transition, or like help with the climate change in Africa? So that's our main focus. But of course, the final goal is this noble goal of solving this issue or help even a little bit solve this issue. So every insight is helpful, and even someone who is like interested or working only on climate science, for example, we have a lot of people who are only working on climate science modeling and these kind of statistical models or certain work that has nothing to do with AI. And those are also like people that we need in the community to get insights from and help us understand certain issues.
Amal Nammouchi, thank you so much for joining us on
you.
iAfrikan. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation to the Deep Learning Indaba.
Thank you.
Thank you for your constant professionalism. I think this is an amazing conference, and we're looking forward to many more.
Amazing. Thank you very much for having me.
You see, I said your surname properly. I just needed to say it wrong once. The second time I got it right.
You said it perfectly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nammouchi.
Thank you.